The first one I would like to present to you is for Marianne Vinich. Marianne, yes, you can applaud, and you should. She works in many mediums: warm glass, cold working, pottery, mosaics, jewelry, designing, painting. She is an art educator for Fremont School District number 25 in Riverton, Wyoming, and an accomplished individual artist. She owns and operates Yellowbird Studios, featuring her own art. Over her 34 years of teaching public school visual arts, she has created many award-winning, innovative art lessons for her students. For example, she has developed a terrific glass art program at Riverton High School. And along those lines, Carol asked if her students can help put a steamboat in the governor's mansion. Not only did they do that, it is the most magnificent piece, all done by high school students. She has inspired generations of Wyoming youth. For example, she inspired her students to produce art that became part of the collection at Heart Mountain Interpretive Center. She began an international art exchange program with Poland over 30 years ago that continues to this day, giving students access to international youth art graphic competition. She's also worked with my wife Carol to develop the First Lady's Young Artist Showcase and the Christmas Ornament Program with Wyoming schools, both of which are wonderful programs. Her accomplishments go on and on. But for those of you who've had the privilege of knowing her, in addition to all this work, she's a lovely, warm person. Carol and I are so proud to call her our friend. Please turn your attention to the screens for the first video presentation.
And when we're finally done, it'll look like diamonds.
So I sent my students out into the school with a pad and a pencil. And I said, I want you to interview kids. I want you to interview adults. Anybody that you see, the custodian. Just go up to them and say, tell me what you know about Heart Mountain. After about a couple of hours, they came back and they said, Mrs. V, we found 3 people that knew anything legitimate about Heart Mountain.
Many of the interns from Heart Mountain meet every year for a reunion in Las Vegas. Marianne wanted to take a group of kids there to record their histories and to also cast their hands in glass.
I set my casting table up with my dental alginate and my plaster. From the corner of the room came a little man. He said, well, I'll do it if my wife and I can do it together. And I took the hands out and we flipped them over. And when we flipped them over, Mrs. Ito, Toshi Ito, said, look, it is a heart. And we all started to cry, the 3 of us.
With the glass hands, the ones that were cast in crystal, she said if you tap them with the tip of your fingernail, because they're crystal, they sort of ring, they have a sound to them. And because all hands are unique, each of these crystal hands have their own sound. They actually sound different. There's something that comes to life. You can see a common humanity.
She has also been the person who's done a lot for introducing new media, like her glass program.
We fired it onto the clear on a vase mold.
I made this for my grandma for Christmas. She played the viola for like 25 years.
Whether she was in a classroom or whether she was out of a classroom, she was always teaching.
This is a jingle dress dancer because I dance.
The way she approached art, it gave them confidence to go on and try many other different things in their lives.
My project is a portrait of the famous Mexican artist Frida Kahlo.
The greatest character she brings is passion.
She's really an incredible artist, and she's had amazing success with paintings that she's done, a whole jewelry line that she has.
Her style is happy and sunny.
She's such a happy person, a real joyous person as she teaches the children.
I think she loves helping people develop into better people.
She could reach troubled kids through art, and she could inspire them to continue in school at very key, crucial times in their life when they may be struggling.
One of the young men that was participating in my Holocaust project He was one of the young men that was drawing swastikas all over the school. He was one of my impetuses for starting the Holocaust Project. About 3/4 of the way through the project, out of the clear blue sky one day, he said, "Mrs. V, I would have been put in a camp, wouldn't I have? It's because I have a learning disability, isn't it?" And I said, "That's correct." Because he came to realize that imperfect people were taken away. It takes everyone to bind together to make a good society. We can't eliminate one person and say that we're okay, because everyone has a value.
Marianne Vinich, winner of a 2016 Governor's Arts Award.
I hope I don't cry. I was talking to Mr. Sandlin at the governor's before we came this evening, and he said, "I sure hope you go first." Thanks, Tim. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Governor Mead. Good evening, Mrs. Mead. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, okay. Thank you. It is my sincere honor to be recognized with the Governor's Art Award with my fellow Wyomingites. I sincerely thank the National Wyoming Art Education Association for believing in me and nominating me for this award. Thank you to the Wyoming Arts Council Board, who forwarded my nomination on to Governor Mead. From my heart of hearts, I thank the following people who wrote support letters on my behalf for my nomination. First Lady Carol Mead, Governor Mike and Jane Sullivan, Aaron Newland from the Harp Mountain Board, Mr. Terry Snyder, Dr. Joanne Flanagan, Mr. Jeremy Hill from School District Number 25 Administration, Dee and Scott Lorimer, Dr. Kim McKinnon, and Dean and Stacy Pronto, all from Riverton. Your steadfast support, eloquent letters, and unbounding kindness are the reasons I am standing here today. Most of all, thank you, Governor Mead, for honoring me and awarding me the Governor's Arts Award. I am grateful for this wonderful gift. Needless to say, I am over the moon receiving this most distinguished honor. Thank you. To my beloved family, who sometimes does say this out loud, artsy people are kind of difficult to get along with. We might be. I love you and thank you for all of your support of my creativity over the many years. On a chilly day in January 1961, I was huddled up next to my father on a couch in the library of our home. We were watching Walter Cronkite on our black and white television during the evening news. My father was listening intently to a speech that had been given earlier in the afternoon. I asked him, "Daddy, what does this mean?" My father restated the famous words, "Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country." You see, Chico, he said, this country took our family in when we had no place else to go, and it is up to us to give back to our country. I took those words to heart. I became a teacher. Teaching is, and always has been, my service to America, to give more than you receive. On my first day of employment many years ago, one of my new principals, Marianne Atwood-Wurzel, was walking me down the hall to show me my new classroom. Mrs. Atwood asked me to put my hand out next to hers. She said to me, "In my hand, I am holding a ball of ribbon. I would like you to take one end of the ball of ribbon and run with it as far as you can go. 34 years later, I am still holding that end of the ribbon, and I am still running. Mrs. Atwood believed in me, and this fostered my creativity. Later in my professional career, I met George Brown, Iag Bran, a Holocaust survivor. He became my dear friend and a true inspiration in my life. Despite the immeasurable hardships he encountered in his lifetime, he always repeated these sentiments and beliefs to everyone he met. See good in all people. Always give hope to others. Don't hate. Always forgive. This same attitude and feeling towards life also abounds in the hearts of the many hundreds and hundreds of Japanese Americans I met who were incarcerated at the Heart Mountain relocation camp during World War II. I have worked for the same school district for the past 34 years, and during this exceptional experience, I don't know if it is even possible to have been more richly blessed in life than to have had the unwavering support of the administration of my school district in allowing me to develop all of my goals, all of my visions, and all of my dreams, and for allowing me to bring extraordinary learning experiences to the magnificent, creative students I teach each and every day. For me, as an artist and an educator, it has always been imperative to develop not just within myself, but within the hearts and minds of my students, abilities to see new perspectives on life and to go out into the world with a new vision. Sometimes it wasn't easy to teach and learn about the very difficult times in the history of our world. However, we reached out and we all received much more than we could ever give back. Kokora kara, thank you from my heart.